Hi there. Now we are inside of the workbook for students and we're reading section 8, which is What is the Real World? Paragraph 1. The real world is a symbol, like the rest of what perception offers. Yet it stands for what is opposite to what you made. So the real world is a symbol of what we're perceiving, but when we overlay what we made, then we block ourselves from having the perception of the real world, which is what God has created for us. Yet it stands for what is opposite to what you made, the real world. So your world is seen through eyes of fear and brings the witnesses of terror to your mind. The real world cannot be perceived except through eyes forgiveness blesses. So they see a world where terror is impossible and witnesses to fear cannot be found. This is a very challenging aspect of this journey, but one that we must get comfortable with. All of the things that we see that appear like terror, that are not loving, humans have done that. God did not create that. Humans, in our thinking that we're separate, we have become righteous, we have become victims, we have become bullies, we have become totally, completely frightful people living in fear of survival. We take from others, we believe in lack, we live in a total state of scarcity. Not enough, that's why we got to take it, we got to hoard it. We're not attuned with our bodies, we are desensitized through television, through movies. We are desensitized through the media. We are not paying attention to what's happening in here. So we've been recording all kinds of stuff, not just our lifetime, but many lifetimes. Our minds are filled with information about history, specific history that the schools want us to know about. You know, we don't get everything that happened when we were being taught as children. When we go to college, we don't get everything that happened. We're being given selected information that has us project a world that then becomes somewhat similar for everybody. And inside of that, there's a division. There's the right way, the wrong way. So we have got to come inside and take ownership of this body vessel. We have to look at our belief system. We got to open up the projector. We got to look at our fears. We got to look at what we learned, our beliefs, our thoughts, our ideas, our perceptions, because that is what is the projection. We got to look at it and begin the process of cleaning it up, because we're superimposing onto this beautiful planet projections of our insecurities, of our angers. We hurt each other, we kill each other because we're disconnected inside. So we project it out there. Paragraph 2. The real world holds a counterpart for each unhappy thought reflected in your world, a sure correction for the sights of fear and sounds of battle which your world contains. So this is a wonderful thing to know. So we have these beliefs about what is wrong, and God has already given us the beliefs about what is good, what is holy, what is happy. We need to begin to look at the world differently. And we look at it differently by changing our perception about it. That's what creates a miracle, the shift in perception. So the real world shows a world seen differently through quiet eyes and with a mind at peace. Nothing but rest is there. There are no cries of pain and sorrow heard, for nothing there remains outside forgiveness. And the sights are gentle. Only happy sights and sounds can reach the mind that has forgiven itself. So we need to look at how we have bought into the idea of separation. We need to forgive ourselves for believing something that God did not create. It's just a block to God, a block to truth. We need to look at our fears. We need to begin to decide, I'm not going to believe that. That's not going to be my truth anymore. When I stop looking through the lens of the projector, which is my past, because I forgave my mother for teaching me things that were not true. I forgave my grandmother for all the shame that I carried around sex and the fears around the Catholic Church. I forgave my dad for abandoning me. I forgave myself for having abandoned my dad then, because tit for tat. I forgave myself for going through the divorces that I did and having my children lose their sense of family. I forgave myself for all of the things that I did that were selfishly oriented. And I forgave myself for believing that I could have done anything to hurt anybody else because everybody is invulnerable just like me. So I begin to accept that there is a power, there is a plan here, there is something holding all of this together, and my work is to align with that plan. And it's God's plan. It's that when I clean up the stuff in my mind and I let go of the past, I stop using what was done to me when I was a child as a reason to be a victim or to be a bully, and I question every thought that I have and see, does it align with love or fear? Is it a high vibration or is it a low vibration? As I shift my thinking, I lift my vibration, what I see out there is going to be the world that God created for me, because I'll only be able to see what is holy in the other, because the holiness in me will have come forward from behind all of those beliefs that were darkening, they were clouding my perception. Paragraph 3. What need has such a mind for thoughts of death, a mind that's been cleared up, attack and murder? What can it perceive surrounding it but safety, love, and joy? What is there it would choose to be condemned, and what is there that it would judge against? The world it sees arises from a mind at peace with itself. No danger lurks in anything it sees, for it is kind, and only kindness does it look upon. You train your mind to look for the good, you will find it. If you can't see the good, it's because you have a filter on. The filter is a thought inside of your mind. Go into your mind and question what you're believing. When you question it, forgive yourself for having a thought that is now nonsensical, because you know it's just the past holding you hostage. You release that thought, you forgive yourself, you clear the projector, your lens now is totally clear. Now you can see clearly what is lovely, what is holy, what is beautiful, what is joyful. So paragraph 4 says, the real world is the symbol that the dream of sin and guilt is over, and God's Son no longer sleeps. We wake up from the illusion that what we're seeing has power because we come into our mind, we clean up what needs to be cleaned up. Hundreds of years, thousands of years worth of information handed down, hand-me-down beliefs that we have adopted. We let go of those old beliefs, we come to the present moment, and then we can see the world anew as God intended for us to see it. So then we're no longer asleep. So his waking eyes perceive the sure reflection of his Father's love, the certain promise that he is redeemed. The real world signifies the end of time, for its perception makes time purposeless. When we live in the now moment, we won't need time. The birds that fly, they are not concerned with time. They're not worried about yesterday. They're not thinking about food for tomorrow. They live now, now, now. The lilies of the valley, right now, they know that they're going to be taken care of. They're not worried about, oh my goodness, are we entering into winter? They do what needs to be done in the now moment. If it's winter, they disappear, and the bulb is underneath the ground preparing for what comes in spring. So we need to learn to move out of this past so that we can enter into the present moment. When we live in the present, the future takes care of itself, but it's the past that we have to clean up. Paragraph 5. The Holy Spirit has no need of time when it has served his purpose. Now he waits but that one instant more for God to take his final step. And time has disappeared, taking perception with it as it goes, and leaving but the truth to be itself. The past is all those memories in your filing cabinet, in your mental filing cabinet, getting projected out, or your recorder, however you want to see it. If it's your filing cabinet, we keep pulling the files of the past. Oh, this was done to me by a man. Well, all men are this. This was done to me by my mother. Well, it's what I have to do to my daughter, because the past runs us. When you clean up the past, you're not projecting time, because now you're present, living in every now moment right now. So that instant is our goal, for it contains the memory of God, that instant when time disappears. And as we look upon a world forgiven, it is he who calls to us and comes to take us home, reminding us of our identity, which which our forgiveness has restored to us. We forgive the people who did things, who taught us things that are recorded in our mind. What happened to me at 10 is not happening now, but when my immature mind activates it, I act as if people are going to abandon me, because that's what happened to me at 10 when I decided dad abandoned me. When I shifted my perception and dad left, it does not affect me. I went on. Look at me. I'm still here. I am almost 57 years old. I am still around. God is not, or dad is not abandoning me right now. But that little 10-year-old girl kicks in if I don't clean up the projector. So I'm stuck in time 47 years ago. So I've got to come into the now moment and live my life today as the mature person that I am, who is emotionally clean, because I am emotionally healthy, cleaned up all of those misperceptions. Yeah, sometimes I have thoughts in my mind that cloud my perception, but I can let them go. I can choose pretty quickly to shift and lift out of them and give myself the miracle. Then I forgive myself for having them, and it happens very quickly. So I don't live inside of emotional reactions anymore, because I have spent 16 years on this journey doing this work. And I promise you it works. The Course in Miracles is powerful. And it will work for you if you allow it. You have to want to see only happiness. It is our choice. It is always our choice. Thanks a bunch, and I'll see you in the next lesson.